All right, welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about one of my favorite fights of the night on paper, Mariya Agapova versus Gillian Robertson. This is an awesome fight. Just great matchmaking. Both these girls are savages. Gillian is nicknamed the Savage, and Agapova is a fucking savage, or like at least a felon or something. She's pretty dangerous. But Gillian Robertson is the much more technical fighter. She really reminds me of Jeremy Horn, a very technical grappler with an incredibly strong mount, and maybe not the prettiest striker, but a lot tougher than she looks, because Gillian is pretty. But anyway, this fight, my prediction for the fight is there's a finish. Just to be really bold, I think there's a finish. I think Mariya Agapova. Look, I think Mariya Agapova could win via TKO or submission, and Gillian Robertson could win via TKO and submission. I think the odds of Gillian Robertson getting a TKO are way off, and I've bet on that. And I think the odds of Mariya Agapova getting a submission are way off as well. I've bet on that. Agapova, I see what you guys see, and she could hurt, beat up Gillian Robertson with a first round TKO, which even that is plus 800 first round TKO. That's where I think the TKO would come. Otherwise, though, I think this is Gillian Robertson's fight, to be honest. If I had a gun to my head, who do I think wins? I'm going with Gillian. I think she's able to weather the storm, get the fight to the ground in one way or another. She's got underrated takedowns. She really is like Horn, very technical, and once on the ground, her mount is smothering, and she always gets it too. So she gets on top of Mariya Agapova. I see Agapova folding, and I think the odds of Gillian getting a TKO, as I said, are way off, because Gillian, as great as her rear naked choke is and her overall top game and back taking game, she is a savage, and she throws deadly elbows. They may not be the most powerful, but when she's up, sitting high up on another girl's chest, and especially a long, tall girl like Agapova, whose defense isn't there to begin with, Gillian can put her away. So, my prediction for the fight, I think a lot of back and forth moments, but I'm going with Gillian Robertson. I take her to win via round 2 TKO, and I think if she doesn't get it in round 1, the takedowns will only come more easily as the fight goes on. And Agapova, she's been able to fight long and hard against Sabina Mazov for 3 rounds, but that was a fight with no grappling. And she could do that again, but she's going to have to defend the takedowns. Defend the takedowns and not get too wild, because she, a lot of times she's too wild, where she could present openings to such a technical fighter like Gillian, and entries and stuff. She could leave herself open, but also it's going to burn her out, which she's a girl who, look, women in any weight class in the UFC, but there shouldn't be this many finishes in one's career. And Agapova, as good as she is offensively at putting girls away, she's been put away twice inside the UFC. Smoked by Marina Moroz, dominated, I should say, and collapsed against Shanna Dobson, who's one of the worst fighters on the roster. If she's still on the roster. She may not be. But Agapova is awesome. She's deadly. She's fun to watch. Hits harder than most, if not all, the women. And I think she's got a really opportunistic and deadly submission game, which could come into play as well. If she wins via submission, the odds are astronomical. Plus 3,500, plus 4,000, and plus 5,000 for her to win via submission in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Of those, I think round 1 is most likely, because that's when she's fresh and still going strong. But if she never gets taxed with a takedown and grappling exchanges, she could carry that offensive prowess deep into round 3 and have success in any round, really. It's just a matter of Gillian Robertson. If she can't get the takedown, how will her toughness hold up? That's the question regarding the Agapova finish. But also regarding Gillian and her path to victory, how's she going to get her down? How easily will that takedown come? I do think she's going to get it down. I think Gillian is stronger. Once they're in tight, she's stronger. You know, she's the shorter and thicker girl, but she's also just, you know, I mean, in such a wild fight, I just don't see Gillian Robertson not having a moment where she gets on top of Agapova. And once she does, that's over. I mean, she's going to get the full mount. Maybe not the fight, but the round is over, if not the fight. And Gillian Robertson, the full mount, that's going to fatigue Agapova. So I see things starting off in Agapova's favor, or maybe Gillian gets a takedown right away. But in general, Agapova's leading, kind of similar to the Priscilla Cachoeira fight. And then Gillian Robertson gets a takedown, and things accelerate. They accelerate in her favor, and she gets a finish. Her getting a finish via TKO, the odds are astronomical. I bet on it in rounds 1 and 2, plus 2,000 and plus 2,500. Fucking give me that all day. But if I had to go one way or the other, I'd go with a rear naked choke. So I'm just a degenerate who likes long odds. But I see what you guys see. Gillian Robertson, round 2 submission. And another bet that I've bet on for this one is the under a round and a half, plus 120. Considering both their strengths and their weaknesses, that's enticing to me. And I've attached it to a few parlays. But a great fight. Really excited for this one. It's going to bring either violence, beauty, with a fucking submission to get all fucking poetic on you, or a fucking war in which both women are hurt, and it's going to be wild. So tune into that one. Speaking of which, thank you for tuning in here. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check out all my other videos. All right.